What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Frontline Film Podcast, episode number 23. Big movie review this week. We finally got to go see Ballerina, the new movie from the world of John Wick, starring Ana de Armas. That was one of my most anticipated. I know you were very, very excited as well. Um, so we're definitely going to be talking about that. Landon's going to give a little review for the Phoenician scheme, which he also saw over the weekend. And then we got some trailers and a new TV show to react to. So, some very, very good trailers I'm excited to dive into. And yeah, two movie reviews. So, exciting week, exciting week. I've been traveling all over the freaking country, but I'm finally back and ready to talk some movies. So, how are you? How's life?
Oh, this is great, man. Rained here all freaking weekend. I think it's supposed to thunderstorm again in like 30 minutes, but whatever. I wanted to get outside, play some golf, wasn't able to do that. But I did go see two movies, so you know, you take what you get, I guess.
You got to watch a show about golf.
Yeah, I got to watch a show about golf, and I watched a little golf this weekend. But other than that, no, it was a good weekend. But wasn't probably as eventful as yours because I'm at the house alone this weekend. But I know you had a very very busy weekend, but you were
Yeah.
still able to go see one of your most anticipated movies. So
Of course, yeah. So I went to an early screening. New York had one on Wednesday, at a theater kind of near my work, so I just went like after work. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that. We haven't really talked much about it other than the fact that Ana de Armas is hot, but um, and I'm sure we'll discuss that a little more later. But all right, so now let's just go ahead and dive right into our trailers. So, 100% the biggest trailer this week, probably one of the biggest, like most anticipated trailers of the year. We got the first trailer for the for Wicked for Good, the sequel part two to last year's Wicked, starring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. Um, Obviously, like the first one was a part one, kind of ended on a sort of a little bit cliffhanger. It's still like honestly kind of its own story, but there's a whole lot more to it. And I've seen the play, so I know there's a whole lot more to it. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it picks right back off, like where the first one ended. Same like really good quality, same good music. You get a couple like little clips of some of the songs in the trailer. You see all the characters and some new ones, and um, yeah, I remember the second half for Wicked. I honestly liked a whole lot better when I saw the play. So I'm excited for this, and obviously the first one. I don't know if me and you were just like super excited to see it last year, but we were both very shocked, by how good it was. So I'm definitely excited. I love a good musical. And the first one was really, really solid, and I'm pretty sure this one probably will be too. So
yeah, no, it took over my Twitter when it got in that or when it finally released. And nah, dude, it looks very good, looks very entertaining. The music samples you get from the trailer sound very good. And of course, I have not seen the play. I've just seen the first movie. But a lot of people I know have seen the play and they love the second half, like you said. They love the second half. Cameron told me that there's like two of the best songs in the second half. So I'm super excited for this. I know that it's gonna get very it's gonna make a lot of money. The first one is so well received, and I feel like for one that's based off a play and has good source material and a good following, to for it to get the praise that it did, I was kind of shocked. But nah, dude, it delivered even for someone like me who is not the biggest musical person. I mean, I like musicals, but like I could go without them. I was very, very, very shocked at how good this was. I'm very impressed, like walking out of the theater. Couldn't get some of the songs like out of my head for a week. So the same thing will probably happen, and I cannot wait for this one. Super excited.
yep, yep, comes out around I think November 21st. So same time as last year around Thanksgiving, will be like the perfect Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Really like the first one, and I'm sure this one will be just as good. So, yeah, that is the first trailer for Wicked for Good. Another trailer that came out this week, we got the first trailer for A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, starring Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. I mean, I didn't even know what this was. I had not heard of it, but the trailer came out, and I can't remember who the director's name is. Let's see. Uh, Big, yep, here we go. Bold, Beautiful Journey. Who is it? Who's the director? I've never heard of that, so never mind. Kogonada, whatever that means. Anyways, looks like a really cool, different, visually appealing movie, like a romantic but sci-fi adventure fantasy movie, sort of. But I mean, I thought the trailer looked sick. This one caught me off guard by how good it looked. Margot Robbie, Colin Farrell, two of the best, in Hollywood right now. I feel like we haven't really seen Margot in anything since Barbie, honestly. And then Colin, obviously, the Penguin was just unreal, and I mean, he's literally great in everything.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I mean, this looked like a cool, different one that caught me off guard trailer. I can't remember when it comes out, but you know me, I love a good like cheesy romance movie every now and then, and this one looks very unique, like time traveling and stuff like that. So I don't know, could be really cool. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I was blown away by the visuals, to be honest. I thought it looked just as the trailer says, beautiful and bold. Really is like what describes it. You got two very, very good actors in Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. I think they're gonna kill it. Um, I just feel like those two are always putting in good performances. I feel like when I think of those two, especially Margot Robbie. Yeah, she's very pretty, she's beautiful, obviously, but she is awesome in everything she's in. I think she killed it as Barbie. I, Tanya, she is like mesmerizing in that. First time we really see her, Wolf of Wall Street, she's awesome in that. Um, and Colin Farrell, you said it best, like the award-winning performance is Penguin. If you didn't know him before, and he just like took TV by a storm. I feel like it was all over Twitter all through award season, like, and the way he portrayed Oswald Cobblepot is just freaking fantastic. So I know that for sure those two people are going to give good performances. But like I said, it really is visually stunning in the trailer. It looks incredible. That's one that I feel like you see in theaters and you're like, dude, all I can think about is how good this movie looked. And hopefully it is as beautiful as the trailer looked. I don't see why it would not be. But it kind of took film Twitter, I think, by surprise. Like when that trailer came out, everybody was like, wow, it's beautiful, good cast and everything like that. So very excited to see that one. That one's gonna be kind of like an underrated one, I feel like.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's one that Cameron will be very excited to go see with you. Good little romance movie. But yeah, so that movie looks very cool. I'm very, very excited. That kind of shot up my list out of nowhere. So looking forward to that. Um, and then the last trailer we wanted to talk about, we got the first trailer for the new Alien TV show on Hulu, Alien Earth. Um, it's kind of funny. It comes out like we just talked about the new It TV show trailer like a week or two ago. This is another one that's like really cool concept. The fact that, like you said with it, like we're gonna get like an episode of a horror show, for 8 or 10 weeks or whatever it is. Um, and it's already, just like the It show is connected to a much larger franchise. People love the Alien movies. Alien Romulus was a top five for me last year. I think Alien and Aliens, the first two were like two of the best sci-fi movies of all time. I can't remember exactly when this one is set, when the show is set, but it's on Earth. Um, looks like a super, super cool concept. The visuals look phenomenal. Um, I mean, the xenomorph looks great as always, and all the other creatures. Um, yeah, dude, I'm really excited for this. I'm kind of liking. I wouldn't say Alien is just strictly horror. It's a lot of sci-fi too, but it
Mm.
is. They are kind of horror movies as well. So, it's kind of cool seeing like these horror franchises try out TV shows. Um, very excited. That all comes out, I think. I would think it was maybe August.
I think August is right.
On Hulu. I don't know if that'll all drop at once or if it'll be weekly, but um, looks great. I'm very very excited. We'll definitely be tuning in.
Yeah, we talk about Apple TV and HBO, like very good TV shows, and I think we both like agree with that. But I feel like FX slash Hulu type deal. I think they got a lot of good shows, especially The Bear. Obviously, is the first one that comes to mind for a lot of people, but Snowfall as well. I think Fargo is through that as well, and now Alien Earth that we're gonna get. The Xenomorph is probably one of the most iconic. I call it. I mean, he's a villain. It's a villain. Iconic villains of all time. It is like cool to look at. But, for the most part, we've only really seen it on a spaceship and kind of dark and like in space. And now they finally get to see it on Earth and see like how it acts and how, first of all, like how it got here, how did they win, how did they get it off, whatever. I think it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, I want to check out Alien Romulus before that show comes out, which is definitely my plan. And then that way, I don't know how those are connected or whatnot. So, super excited for that. Like I said, I think Hulu slash FX needs a little bit more respect because I think they do pump out a lot of good shows. And especially with the Bear Award winning and now with Alien Earth, I think you got to put it like up there. Apple TV does not miss. We know that. And we'll talk about Stick here in a little while. HBO obviously has great shows. And then I feel like FX slash Hulu right there with them. So,
Yeah, no, I agree. FX on Hulu definitely slept on. They've been cooking up some really good shows the last couple of years. Like especially The Bear. But yeah, no, I mean looks really cool. I just Googled it. It's set 2 years before the original Alien movie.
oh,
Uh,
word.
so very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm very very excited. Something a little different to watch every week. And yeah, you definitely need to watch Romulus. That was one of the best movies I saw last year. Like one of the best, like visually just impressive sci-fi movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
On top of it being like really creepy and a good story and everything. So, um, yeah, very solid. Alien Hive is back up, and this show looks sick too. Speaking of Alien, I know that new the new animated Predator movie comes out. I'm very excited to watch that. I have not gotten around to it yet. Apparently, it's great.
Yeah.
Getting really good reviews. So might talk that next week. We'll see.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that is all of the trailers we wanted to talk about. Um, a whole lot of stuff just popped up on my computer. I don't know what's happening. Anyways, so now we're gonna jump into our new TV show that we're gonna be talking about here for the next couple weeks. We got the first 3 episodes of Stick, the new show on Apple TV starring Owen Wilson. It's a golf show. Um, and as we know, and as we've sucked them off all year, Apple TV cranks out it just incredible TV shows. Literally almost every one of their shows that I've watched are just fantastic. They have 2 of the best seasons of television this year already. Um, so yeah, we were very excited for this. We also love Owen Wilson. I think he is very underappreciated. He's so entertaining. I love watching literally everything he's in. He's just got such a good voice too. And then like, you're a big fan of golf and I'm a big fan of sports as well. So, um, we've been very excited for this since the first trailer dropped and we got the first 3 episodes. I did a lot of traveling this week, so I was not able to watch the second 2, but I did watch that first episode, a little bit ago and very, very good, very good start. I'd love to kind of hear your thoughts since you actually watched all 3, but, I definitely enjoyed it and I'm excited to keep watching.
Yeah. So I won't give any like big like plot points of second, third episode, because you still need to watch it. Don't want to give that away, obviously. But no, the first episode, obviously is always world building, like trying to figure out who the main characters are and everything. And Owen Wilson as Price Cahill, right? That's his name, Price Cahill. You can see him in the first, shot, him explaining like what golf means and how, that adrenaline rush is and how all the greats are, only for him to be selling a club to a regular, average player. I thought was a very good start. It's very funny. And I think Owen Wilson, what he does best is comedy. We've seen him in serious roles, and we've seen him as like, Mobius in Loki. But for the most part, he is known for comedic roles, which is, we knew he was going to be good in this. And again, he is awesome as Price Cahill, as a washed up has been golfer who had a meltdown and wasn't able to get back to his peak, how good he actually was. And in the first episode, I think it was the first episode where he has his buddy, God, what's his name? Do you remember his name? Glasses, older guy.
No, but I know who you're
Um,
talking
but
about.
they run the hustle at the bar, and he's just dogging on them, and you think he's just a guy at the bar, a sports writer or whatever, and he continuously dogs on him, dogs on him, dogs on him, and finally, after the other guy tells him to make this putt for $1,000, and one of the bystanders at the bar is like, "Oh, I'll do that. I'll throw $1,000 for him to make it." And lo and behold, he misses it. He hits the side of the cup, very close. Obviously, I actually thought he was gonna make it, just as a feel good. But then you find out that they're together, they're best friends, they're running that hustle. He gives them a little bit of money, but no, it's one of those shows that there's something deeper. Like obviously he had the meltdown and he doesn't play anymore, but you haven't gotten to the episode that really dives in. Well, maybe it was the end of the first episode. I can't
They
remember.
talked, yeah, what he was watching,
Yeah. So
the
you kind of
clips of
figure
his son.
yeah, you kind of figure out that something is definitely going on that's deeper, that split up the family. And, his ex-wife makes a comment, he won't bring him back. And, I was sitting there and I was like, man, he must have lost a child. And that's what you find out that he does lose a child. We don't know how, we don't know the actual effect on him, but obviously they both miss him. And I think that that's going to take like a deeper toll of like, this is going to be like a feel-good comedy, but at the same time, it's really going to speak to like, athletes, especially professional athletes, are humans too, and they go through stuff. So when they have like mental breaks or something is wrong, or they won't talk to the media, or they just have like these things that go wrong with them, they are human. And they're gonna do it in a lighthearted, probably fashion, but I think that is very important for any sport. For the NBA or the MLB or the NFL, like those guys are people too. The second and third episodes, really, he finds out that Santi is like this crazy. He overhears him at the driving range. He's like hitting shots, and he's like, "There's, hit this marker," and Santi is just nails, nails every single one. And finally, he goes, "I'll hit the 320 marker." Owen Wilson looks out there. He's like, "There's not a 320 marker." He hits the shed, and obviously, if you know the premise of the show, like he wants to mentor Santi, and Santi is not playing golf for whatever reason. And we find out that that's because of his dad, and his dad is gone now, and he hasn't played in, you know, 5 or 6 years up leading up to where we are now. Um, and I'm trying not to give a lot away because I know you gotta watch it.
No, that
But
was all in the first episode. You're
yeah,
good.
episode two and three. Episode three is like the main, like he plays in his first golf tournament. We meet a new character that's probably going to be very big. But episode two is kind of Price Cahill and his best friend like going to watch him play 18. And he's getting fitted for clubs as well. And we kind of figure out that he is very talented, but he gets in his own head very easily. And he makes like he's always like go for broke. Like I gotta go for it all. I can't take the layup. I can't play smart or safe. Like I have to go for it all. He kind of figured that out. Like he has a very good talent, very good player. But no, this Santi is I think very likable. In the second episode, you kind of figure out like he really wants this. This is what he wants to do. Like he's super excited. And then his mom is obviously introduced and everything. So episode two and three are very good. I know that you still have to watch them. Hopefully, you can watch them tonight or tomorrow, and we can talk about it. But episode three, obviously, is the tournament. Like I said, we get introduced to a new character, and Yeah, you just learn a lot about the characters, especially through episode two and three. I think Santi's going to be very interesting too, personally.
Yep, no, I agree. I'm wondering if we're going to see any actual golfers in the show. Unless you already have, I don't know. That if you just watch, if he was just an amateurs, then probably not. But I'm curious to see how far the season goes and how far he makes it. Yeah, no, I'll definitely probably watch those. But yeah, no, dude. I mean, as we've said, like Apple TV cranks out great stuff, and I'm kind of getting like similar vibes from this as Ted Lasso almost. It's going to be a good, funny, feel-good sports story, but like I think it's going to be incredibly emotional as well. Kind of when you least expect it. Like the end of that episode when he's watching those clips, like and he's like tearing up, like very, very emotional. So. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good balance of having serious stuff like that, but then a lot of really good funny stuff, but then like good sports tense moments as well. Um, so yeah, and then Owen Wilson's just like one of the most likable guys ever. Um, so I think he fits into this role perfectly as a washed up golfer. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm very excited. Looking forward to see like where it goes. If this could be something with multiple seasons, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, very very solid first episode for me. You watched all three. Definitely excited to talk about that. Over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, that's our TV show for the week. I know that The Bear and Ironheart come out in like 2 weeks or something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
So we'll definitely be talking about that as well. I think there's some other stuff too. I just can't remember. There's so much stuff coming out soon.
I know.
Um, I did also watch the first two episodes of Tires.
Oh yeah, with Shane
So
Gillis on
funny.
Netflix. Yeah.
So funny. Season one was only 6 episodes. This season's 12.
Oh.
I didn't know they did that many until I got on. I was like, what? So yeah, we got 12 new episodes of Tires. Did you watch season one?
Mm-mm.
Dude, it's hilarious. It's just Shane Gillis humor. It's great. Um, but yeah, first couple episodes of that are great. I'll definitely give more of a report next week. But yeah, so that's our TV shows for the week, and now we're gonna jump into our movie reviews. Did you want to do yours first or second?
I'll do mine first, just to get it out of the way, and then that way we can kind of talk longer about
Yep,
Ballerina.
go for it.
So yeah, I went and saw the Phoenician Scheme, a film by Wes Anderson, who I very much enjoy Wes Anderson movies. The Grand Budapest Hotel, Fantastic Mr. Fox are two very, very strong movies. And this one I think is also, another good cast. We got Benicio del Toro, Michael Cera, Tom Hanks, Benedict Cumberbatch, Bryan Cranston. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Scarlett Johansson in this one as well. And I have to say right off the bat, if you like Wes Anderson, if you like the way he makes his movies, his cinematography, his color, his visuals, all of that, you will definitely like this movie. I very much enjoyed this movie. I thought Benicio del Toro was very, very good as the main character. He was funny. He was very redeemable. You kind of get the sense that he's like a cold-hearted millionaire, just businessman. Doesn't even live in the same like house as his nine kids and his daughter. But yeah, he's very cold-hearted, not trusting, and he's just very good. And as the movie goes on, you kind of get a sense that he's trying to change a little bit, open up his heart a little bit, and realize that there's not the only thing to life isn't just money, business, and throwing that money around for land and everything like that, but kind of get a sense that he's open to family and making friendships and making all along the way. Um, Benicio del Toro is very, very good. I think that like when you think of Wes Anderson, especially with like Ray Fiennes in The Grand Budapest Hotel as the main character, like they just do a good job. Let me make sure that I get her name right. But the daughter who plays the nun, um, she what is her name? Mia Therapleton. I don't know how to say it. Therapleton. I don't know. Mia Therapleton plays the daughter. She is very funny as well. There are some side-handed comments, that she makes towards Benicio del Toro about him not being religious and it is very, very funny. Michael Cera, I think, is a standout in this film as well. He plays a tutor at first that you find out is an like a U.S. spy, espionage like guy. And first he plays like a his name is Bjorn. He's from Oslo and he has this accent, and then literally on the with a snap of a finger, he changes his accent and his character when you find out he's American and he's from Delaware. It was a very funny scene, and he's into bugs and everything. He's kind of like a tutor type deal. Um, but yeah, no, this even like the little characters like Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston. There's a scene with them, with him and they're playing basketball, and Bryan Cranston and Tom Hanks walk out with these tight white shirts and like sweatpants, and they're making these incredible basketball shots, but they look like absolute idiots when they're doing it, and they're all just like nothing but net going in, and it is hilarious. Bryan Cranston is so damn funny, and everybody knows him for Walter White, but like he can be funny. He's actually really funny, and he is in this one as well. Um, and I don't know. I really like the way that he uses the camera. I think that's very unique. And we talk about like cinematography, and you can go down with like obviously like do I think Dune is prettier? Yes, I think Dune is prettier. Do I think like some things that come to mind like Everything Everywhere All at Once and movies like that, Top Gun Maverick and the Mission Impossibles and all that. Do I think they're prettier? Yes, but I do like how simple Wes Anderson makes the camera and the sets and everything. And I think that it's a very good job. And I think this one kind of expands on like how simple and complex it can be because it's over like the space of a whole country and it's just back and forth using a plane and stuff like that. I just find it very unique and I find it very refreshing because it is so simple at times. And I like the way he uses color. I think it's a good job. And I also think that the way he balances like a lot of characters, like when you think of Oppenheimer and how many characters are in that movie, but how all of them are interesting, I think Wes Anderson does the exact same thing. He makes them full of character and humorous and all this stuff like that, and they're memorable. And that's why I think I like this movie. Like I said, if you like his other movies, if you like Asteroid City, if you like Grand Budapest Hotel, if you like Isle of Dogs, if you like Mr. Fox, you will like this movie. If you like Wes Anderson, you will like this movie. But do I think it's anything like revolutionary? Not really. It's just kind of Wes Anderson being Wes Anderson with a good like plot that you can follow with humor. It looks good and the characters are good. And it's really just another one of those. It's like I said, it's nothing complex. It's nothing that you're like, this doesn't make any sense to me. The dialogue is not dumbed down though. The dialogue, is very like it's making you think and making you realize what's going on, but it doesn't dumb it down. Um, and I don't know. It like I said, it's nothing special, but it was entertaining. I got some good laughs, and I thought the characters and the way it looked were very interesting. So I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. It's not anything like a five or anything, but I thought it was very entertaining. I would definitely watch it again, and I think I settled with a 7.1 on my rating for the Phoenician scheme. So, like I said, Benicio del Toro and Michael Cera were awesome. I thought they were kind of the highlights. And then, a long list of characters from Cranston, Hanks, Benedict Cumberbatch, all those people were also very good. So, 3.5 stars, 7.1. And if you like Wes Anderson, definitely go see it. My theater was packed today. Literally not an open seat in my theater on a Sunday afternoon. So, some people like Wes Anderson, and, I'm one of them.
Question for you. What if you're like me, you don't really like Wes Anderson?
Yeah, so if you don't like Wes Anderson, I still say go see it because I feel like a lot of people think his movies are the same, and I definitely understand that. Because I think he uses the camera and the like color scheme and everything is the same. I feel like this one was a little bit different though for the way he like, dude, when I say this movie starts off with a bang, it starts off with a freaking bang, literally. And you won't get that unless you see the movie, but the humor is very, very good. Like our whole theater was laughing like multiple times. So it's funny. The characters are very interesting, and I don't think there's a really bad performance. And I'm starting to wonder if you can get a bad performance in a Wes Anderson movie because of the way he does the dialogue and like the script and everything. So you don't have to. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think, especially if you're like never seen a Wes Anderson film. I don't think it's the Grand Budapest Hotel. I still think that's the best Wes Anderson film. Like, I think that one is so good. But I still think this one is very solid. You will definitely get some laughs in this one, and I think it's entertaining enough for anyone to go watch it, for sure.
Okay. Well,
So,
maybe I'll have to go check it out.
yeah.
I was actually asked to go watch it today, but I had to decline because I was so tired from my travels. But um, who knows? Maybe I'll check it out. We'll see. I like the cast. I really like the cast,
Yeah.
and I've heard good things about it from you and a couple other people. So we shall see. But yeah. So that is Landon's review for the Phoenician scheme, and now we can jump into Ballerina. So I've been very, very excited to talk about this movie. So as as everyone knows, the John Wick movies are just awesome. They're so sick. Um, Definitely one of the best like original horror. I'm stupid. One of the best original action franchises, of the last 10, 15 years or so. Keanu Reeves is a certified badass in those movies, and it really reignited his career, I think. And like they're 4 for 4. I think all four are like at least like an 8.5 out of 10. Like they are all great. The fourth one's my favorite. I know you love the fourth one as well in the first one, but they're all great. So um, hearing several years ago that they were going to do a spinoff with Ana de Armas, um, we were very excited. Very, very excited. We love Ana de Armas. She's literally like one of the most gorgeous women ever. Um, and we kind of got a taste of her like action chops in No Time to Die, which is a phenomenal, phenomenal movie. And she's only in it like maybe 15, 20 minutes,
Hmm.
but she kind of steals the scene like when she's in it. So ever since like that clip and you knew that she was going to be in the new John Wick movie, like we were very, very excited. Um, And then when you kind of learn what the movie's about, you meet the ballerina group in I think John Wick 3 it is.
Hmm.
So you learn it's going to kind of take place around that and learn a little bit more, dive into that lore. The John Wick world has like such cool and unique lore with stuff like that. I think it's very, very interesting. So yeah, so this movie takes place like pretty much in between John Wick 3 and 4. Um, and it explores that world about like the whole ballerina, whatever that group was called.
The
They're still
Ruska
like,
Roma.
huh?
The Ruska Roma.
The Ruska Roma, that's what it is. And they're still
Sick.
like associated with the Continental and that whole group, but they're also like kind of their own separate thing. So, um, yeah, so I've been so excited for this. It was one of my most anticipated for the year. I know you were stoked for as well. So I'm very glad that it is finally here. I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie, in the weeks leading up. It was kind of getting some mixed reviews and some bad press. I don't really know why. But I just feel like because I think a lot of it, the movie got reshot, and so that like usually is a red flag. But the thing is, it was reshot by Chad Stahelski, who did the action for the John Wick movies and a bunch of other movies too. But um, I was still very excited. And like I said, I went and saw it on an early screening on Wednesday. Um, and I had a fantastic, fantastic time. Um, it is just as good as I wanted it to be. Um, Ana de Armas, like I said, she is awesome. She is, I can't really think of another like female actress that's just can be a pure action star like that. Maybe like Charlize Theron, but even she's like getting a little bit older. Um, so yeah, dude, I loved this movie. I thought Ana de Armas was incredible as Eve. It was kind of cool, like seeing her journey, kind of she wasn't super experienced, but as she just kept practicing and training, she just became a badass. And you literally see her like on her first mission and then, throughout this story as well. Um, so yeah, the action is right up there on par with all of the John Wick movies. Some incredibly cool sequences that you only get out of John Wick movies. It really like was in the felt in the same world. Like it really felt a part of a John Wick world, both when it came to the action and the style, but also like the music, the score. I don't know if they had the same guy do the score, but it's just such a cool, like good music. It's unique. You got a club scene as you do in all the John Wick movies, and it was great. It was so cool. Yeah, dude, I had a great time with this. What did you think? And then we can kind of dive into some pros and cons.
Yeah, no, I don't think I was as nervous as you. I guess I didn't see the reshoot things as much, and I didn't see like the initial reviews, but the couple days leading up, everything I saw on Twitter was positive. So I was like, okay, yeah, like I'm gonna expect, I'm gonna go in there expecting that it's not gonna be as good as John Wick, but it's still gonna be very entertaining, and I want the combat to be just top tier as just like the other ones are. And I gotta say, man, the hand-to-hand combat did not fall off. It did not miss a beat. Ana de Armas, I don't know how much of the stunt she did. I would imagine that a lot of that hand-to-hand combat was her.
I think
Um,
she did a lot of it.
she was outstanding. I thought the hand-to-hand combat was some of the best that we've seen in John Wick. Of course, when we watch Keanu Reeves do it, when we watch John Wick do it, we just like, of course, like it's top tier. But this one is just as good. I don't think there was any fall off really. I will say that I thought it looked great. I thought the action sequences were shot well. Um, there is something, and it wasn't it was a big one in four. You remember we talked about it, the fire shotgun scene in that one from above. And I just, if they have that in every movie ever, it would just be like the coolest thing ever. They have a little bit, like a couple shots like that. Not a combat scene really, but there's one walk-in right after the flamethrower scene that we see it. Um, and I just think it's so cool. It's like one of the coolest shots in movies. We gotta use that like all the time, I think. I think that should just be mandatory in every action movie. Just find a way to do it. I don't care how, just do it. Ana de Armas was fantastic. I mean, every part of this movie. I don't think she put a bad acting performance. We can talk about Keanu Reeves being a great actor. But we know Ana de Armas is good. We've seen her in plenty of things to know she's good. She was fantastic as Eve Macaro in this. You get, like you said, some very cool lore, some more lore that we see. I thought the continental sequence was awesome because remember, we know that there's no violence inside the continental. Like, that's a rule. Cannot kill people inside there, no violence. So that was a very cool scene. I like the idea of a cult, like raising people from kids to just be killers. Love that. And I love the idea of the Roma and the cult, like not working together, but like, hey, we know what you do, you know what we do. We're not gonna cross paths, like we're not gonna interfere. And I feel like in a world like that, that would definitely happen. 100%. You would get like these big, like gigantic players that are just like, if you don't mess with us, we won't mess with you. The bounty scene with the women all taking the calls, still as cool as ever. I love that in Parabellum when we first saw it, or at the end of John Wick 2 when we first saw it. So freaking cool. I really enjoyed this movie a lot, and I didn't think I could love Ana de Armas anymore, but here we are after Ballerina, and I love her, even more.
Yep, same here. She really was like just perfect in this role. So yeah, let's jump into a couple cons because I did have like two big ones. But then obviously we can jump into the pros as well. So my first like not issue with it, but something I just think could have been done better or just not really maybe even cut. The first like 30 minutes were very slow. It took 20, 30 minutes. It took a good bit to get going. I understand that you wanted to give her character a little bit of a backstory, but I think the whole initial sequence with her and her dad was a little drawn out. And then you get like probably 15 or 20 minutes of her in the school before she even goes out on the mission. I think all of that was just I mean, I was honestly a little bored. I was starting to like get worried. Obviously, it picks up and then just doesn't lay off the gas, but I do think it was a bit of a slow start. I think maybe it could have been condensed, or maybe just a little bit more of like a flashback sequence instead of like its own thing. Um, but I do understand it was to give her character a little bit more depth. But that was a con for me. And then I also thought Norman Reedus in this was just pointless. I mean, he's entertaining in everything I've ever seen him in. Obviously, he's good in Walking Dead and other stuff that he's in. But I honestly think his character was borderline like completely pointless. And that whole sequence, very, very short sequence with him in the hotel, like them trying to escape. Well, he had his daughter with him, that he had essentially rescued, from the cult. Um, like that part's cool, the fact that like he got her out, but I just thought that whole sequence was also kind of just a little bit unnecessary. It was good action, but I just think Norman Reedus' character was basically pointless. That's my main issue with it. Not that he was bad, I just don't think he was needed. But honestly, those are probably my two only cons. I don't know if you kind of agree with that or if you have other little nitpicky things, but
I have cons.
definitely a lot more pros.
Yeah. So when we talked about this, you said that there was an unnecessary character in this movie, and we do not have the same unnecessary character. I thought the Norman Reedus sequence was fine. I thought his character was fine. There, I felt like he was in there, and I don't think he didn't need to be there. I just like he was just like a little side mission for like the big part. I thought the sister was pointless. I thought that whole reveal was terrible. Like I thought that reveal was so rushed, or it felt rushed, and it felt like not big. We never even got to like, she's kind of honed in on in a couple scenes to where, oh, she might be a bigger player. But not once did I think they were going to go the route of a sister. And when they did, I was like, I don't know if that was really necessary. So I do agree that there is an unnecessary character. We just probably disagree on which character is unnecessary. Um, but I think that can kind of go into the Norman Reedus thing. Um, by the way, him using the shotgun, I think I just love shotguns in movies. Just give me more shotguns. F the pistols, F the ARs, F the snipers, give me more shotguns. Um, but anyways, I think that can kind of go where you find out that he's the son. Like, I just feel like the whole family tie-in to where like, Eve's sister is here and she was taken as a child. Okay, not really important, I don't think, in Eve's character development or what she does as a character or anything. And with Norman Reedus' character being the son of the main bad guy, don't think that has really any significance either. We just wonder why he wants the kid so bad. Um, so yes, I think both of those can be a con. I just really don't think the sister part was necessary, like whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the sister part. I don't think that character was bad. I think you could have still had her in the movie and
Right.
her just be her own thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that reveal that she was his sister was kind of like, okay, that's who cares?
And then
Like
they kill her off immediately when you
they kill her
find
off
out.
like immediately after you find
Yeah,
out.
so the
I
other
agree.
one I do agree with the beginning is like slow, but I feel like from the point that we find to where she's like grown up and then she finds John Wick and talks to him, and then she gets her first mission is like a snap of the finger. Like there's no real setup there. I understand that like slow. I could see that. I actually didn't mind the sequence in the house because we saw more hand-to-hand combat. So give me all of that in John Wick. But I did think that like when she talked to John Wick for the first time, and then when she finally got her first mission, I felt like that whole like it felt like 1 minute. It was like immediate, so I didn't really enjoy that. But other than that, yeah, those two things I can definitely get behind and agree with you and, have a little bit of difference. But I think for the most part, we kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But I mean, I mean, very small cons. We both 100% very much loved this movie. Um, so literally right after, remember I told you, I said like I was getting a little worried, I was getting a little bored. The second she starts her first mission and she's walking in that club with that dress on and you got the John Wick music going, that's when I like sat up on that in my seat. I was like, all right, let's go. This is what I'm here for. And that is the last hour and a half of the movie. Like it does not stop from that point that she walks in the club, does not stop, does not lay off the gas. Um, you can't have a John Wick movie without an awesome club sequence with awesome music and lighting and visuals. I
Absolutely.
think that scene was done great. And then you go into the scene with the um, she was in the New York Continental, but then she was in wherever the other one was. Was it Prague maybe or
Prague.
something?
Yep.
That whole Continental was cool. It was very unique. I think the set design of that Continental was very, very cool.
Yeah.
Um, and then the whole last hour of this movie, when she's in that northern town, um, I thought was like perfect. I genuinely think it was perfect. I think the last hour of this movie, outside of like, the sister reveal, whatever, the last hour action wise and story wise was perfect. It was like once I realized that it was gonna be like her in this town and everyone is trying to kill her, I was like, okay, this is sick. It fits perfectly with John Wick, the whole bounty stuff. But um, yeah, I mean, literally from the moment she walks in the club in that dress, I literally had the biggest smile on my face. I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the whole last hour of her being in that snowy town. Number one, it looked great. All of that action and stuff against the snow looked phenomenal. Um, yeah, just great score, great music, great fighting choreography and gun work and camera work and stuff. And then of course we got our boy John Wick,
Yeah.
who is just incredible. Like obviously when you see him earlier in the movie, like in the house or whatever, yeah, it's cool. It's like, oh,
I thought that
Keanu
was a very cool scene, by the way,
Reeves.
the way they did
What?
it the first
What
time he
did they
showed
like?
up.
The way they like merged it together?
Yeah, because I remember that scene so damn vividly.
Yeah.
And when he's
The
walking
fact
down
that
the
she
stairs,
was watching
I was
now.
just like, I was
Yeah.
like, no way.
Yeah. The way they kind of blended
Yeah.
that together was super cool. But then, you go without him for a good chunk. But then at the end, when she's like, all right, we need to take care of her. We cannot like, you know, they don't want to like hurt relations with this cult or whatever.
Hmm.
She's like, we need to send the baddest person, and then everyone in the audience knows like who it's about to be, and then the train shows up and he walks off, and my whole audience because it was like a opening like two nights early opening, the whole audience just erupted like when he
Nice.
walked off the train, and they were all like, "It's the Baba Yaga."
Yeah.
And then a couple times in the movie, they were like, "No, it's fucking John Wick."
Yeah.
Um,
He's just a man. And then she walks up the stairs and takes a bullet to the forehead. Oh
dude, but
God.
he was sick. The fact that he like went there to kill Ana de Armas, was a cool like thing. But then obviously like he doesn't kill her. He lets her live after kind of. He's like, I'm gonna give you till midnight. But I think their fight sequence between them two was great.
Yep.
It was really really cool. And then
You know what I also liked, and this is gonna sound so bad. But usually in movies like this, when you have like a new face and you know John Wick is just the man, like he's the Baba Yaga, right? Like sometimes I feel like they'll show him like get beat in hand-to-hand combat. He just kicked her ass for like 5 minutes. Like he just everything she tried to do, he had a counter for. He's like throwing her through walls and like everything like that. And he's just saying like leave, just leave. Like that's all you have to do. And he just kicks her ass for 5 minutes. I love that because it's like, all right,
yeah,
Eve is pretty cool. She's a badass, but like that's fun. That's John Wick. Like
yeah.
John Wick's a badass.
Yeah, no, it was sick seeing them fight, but then obviously we got a little bit of action with him fighting the bad guys. Typical John Wick stuff, like the John Wick score came on, and
Yep.
it just felt great. It felt great to be right back in that world of Keanu Reeves and John Wick. Such a cool character. Um, and it's cool to see something that he was up to in between number three and four,
Yep.
and how they all kind of weaved it all together. But I don't think he was overshadowing at all. I think he was used the perfect amount. It was still 100% Ana de Armas's movie. You could have still had this movie without John Wick, and it would have been great. But I think he was used perfectly. He wasn't overdone. He maybe has like what, maybe 10 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
but it all works. It works with the story and the narrative, and it doesn't take away from Ana de Armas. This is her movie. Um, she is the new action like female star. Like that is all like 100% true.
And it kind of
Regardless,
opens up, the ending kind of opens up to where we could get a sequel,
we could.
Parabellum style sequel.
Yep,
So,
yep. It's like almost the same ending as John Wick 2, when the bounty gets sent out and she leaves and everyone's phone starts lighting up. And I remember John Wick 2, like he's in that park and then he just starts running and then the movie ends. Uh,
God,
so good, so good. All of that stuff, all of like the lore and the history that we've gotten in all the John Wick movies, and now this is just so cool and so unique. But yeah, dude, I mean, overall, just incredible action. Ana de Armas is great. Um, Chad Stahelski has an eye for action, unlike anyone I've ever seen. He's got to be the best like fight choreographer, action choreographer in the game. Um, yeah, we didn't really talk about it, dude. The flamethrower sequence, God, it was so sick.
every
I
single John
remember,
Wick,
I remember seeing it in the trailer, and when I was about to happen, I was like, dude, I hope this isn't cheesy. Like I
it's
was a
not.
little worried.
Literally
I was
not.
like, please be cool. And dude, they did it so well. They made the flamethrower seem like the coolest thing in the world. And I don't know if that was actually her with it. I mean, it sure looked like it, but like, I don't know. It was just done and shot so well. It was just amazing.
Yeah, she like opens that crate and she's like, cool. And you're like, I already know what it is. I already know what it is. Nah, dude, they made that. Oh my God, it's such a good sequence, man. I feel like every time I go into a John Wick movie, I'm like, all right, how did they like one up the action from last time? Like it's gotta be similar, and every single one is different, man. It's like John Wick 3, you take like the very beginning where he's running through killing all the assassins. In John Wick 4, it's the overhead shotgun scene and it's the stair fighting scene. And in this one, it's the flamethrower scene. And I mean, every one of them's different. Like, I don't know how he does it, but he just continues to knock it out of the park. I could watch 100 John Wick movies and they won't get old. They just never do.
Yep. No, I agree, dude. It was so good. The action was top tier. It's exactly what you want from this franchise. Um, yeah. So I think Ballerina fit perfectly into the world. I would love to see more spin-offs, even if it's a sequel to this or some other characters that we haven't met yet. It was also very cool to see Winston and what's his name? The guy Lance Reddick. What's his name? Character's name though?
I just know him as Lance Reddick,
Yeah,
even when
Lance
I
Reddick. It was
refer to him.
it was cool to see him again.
Yeah.
Even though it was brief, but
Welcome to
and
the
then
Continental.
welcome to the Continental, and then Ian McShane as Winston. It was
Yep.
cool to see them back.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, such a good movie. I want more. I want more John Wick universe stuff. Please, please give it to me. I'm very, very excited for the fifth one. I know we still don't really know any details. I don't know how they're gonna do it because he's dead, but he's the Baba Yaga, so who knows? Please give me him in hell fighting all of his past enemies. I don't know. Something cool. But we'll have to see. But yeah, so safe to say we both loved Ballerina. So now we can jump into our ratings. Um, yeah, so like I said, did have a couple cons. It's not perfect. I think I think probably like two of the John Wick movies are 5 stars or 4.5 stars. All of the others are like 4 to 4.5 stars. So I gave this 4 stars. Like I said, there were a couple issues with it. But overall, I think the last hour and a half of this, for the most part, is like a 5 star movie. I just think the beginning was a little bit drawn out and I was a little bored. But other than that, the last hour and a half is perfect. So I gave it 4 stars. I think I settled at 8 point. Hold up, Ballerina 8.4. So I put it above Novocaine and Captain America, right under Mickey 17. It's currently my number 9 on the year. Awesome, awesome stuff. I do hold like I think John Wick 4 is the best at 5 stars. Maybe the first and second one are like 4.5 stars, and then like the third one and this one are probably like 4. So, very, very good. I loved it. What did you think? What did you give it?
Yeah, so I walked out of it. Like I said, I think that the sister reveal is kind of just pointless, and I do think I understand your con with Norman Reedus, but I still there were parts of this movie where I was like, hell yes. So I still gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, but I think I settled on an 8.1 for this one. It's still in the top 10. I think it's number 8 on the year, which is still like I mean for one that I thought like because I think this one might be better than the first John Wick, and that's saying a lot if like the first John Wick is still an 8 out of 10. Because I think it is. I just think 2, 3, and 4 are just very, very good in my opinion. And I just love what they do with the action. I love what they did with the action in this one. I thought it was so good. Like you said, the last hour, the whole sequence in the winter or the snow town or whatever is amazing. The flamethrower sequence is sick, and it really does feel satisfying at the end. And I just really, really loved Ana de Armas. So an 8.1, 4 stars on Letterboxd. Love Ballerina. Go freaking check it out, man. This is a sick action movie. It is just as I mean, it's not way worse than any of the other John Wicks. It's right up there. So go see it for sure.
Yep, yep, I agree. Please go see it because I think it's kind of underperforming, which makes me sad because it's a great movie and I want more of them and I want more of her. Um, but yeah, awesome movie. Go check it out if you're even a remote fan of the John Wick movies or just action movies in general. It's sick. It's such a good movie. Such a fun time at the theater. So, yeah, so that is our review of Ballerina. I've now seen, I think, knocked out two of my most anticipated. What have we only done one of yours, or have we done two? I can't remember. You had um, what was it? You had Mickey 17. I can't remember what your other
Black
ones were.
Phone
That was so
2,
long ago.
Avatar, Superman,
Mickey, Black Phone.
Mickey. That's 4. What was my fifth one? I thought I
I
did
don't
2 of mine already. Maybe I
know.
didn't.
Maybe you did. We'll see. But yeah, so one of my most anticipated lived up to the hype. Both of mine, Mission Impossible and this have been great. I still
And
got
Sinners.
Huh? Oh yeah, Sinners. So I've
Sinners
had
is
three.
on
I've
there.
had three. Sinners is obviously unreal too. So yeah, it's been a hell of a year for movies so far, and we're only halfway through. It's only June. We're not even halfway through. So very very exciting. So yeah, that's Ballerina. Next week, not entirely sure how this is going to work. We might potentially take a week off. Not sure yet. I'm about to be traveling again for about a week and a half. Landon's about to have company in town. Um, I don't know. We might be able to record Monday night. Um, but I know How to Train Your Dragon comes out this week as well as Life of Chuck. I will not have time to see either of those before the next recording. Unfortunately, definitely going to go see How to Train Your Dragon though, and Life of I really want to see both. I just don't have time. But yeah. So I mean, me and you will talk. We'll figure it out. So maybe an episode up by next Tuesday. But if not, we will 100% have a video up the following week.
Yeah, because that'll be 28 years later and Elio come out the same week.
Yeah,
That's the
and if
20th.
if we don't do one next week for How to Train Your Dragon, we can just do that on the same episode that we do 28 years later. So that was your other one. That was your other most
Yeah,
anticipated.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll just kind of see. We'll play it by ear. If there's a lot of movie news and trailers, maybe we'll do one. But if not, might take a little summer break for both of us. But um, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Um, we've really been enjoying doing this. Now we're really in the thick of summer blockbuster season, and it's been so great seeing all these awesome movies literally every week. For the last like 2 months, we're getting great movies. Like I'm constantly having new movies enter my top five and top 10. So very, very cool. Oh, we didn't even do our last normal segment, what we've been watching. Have you watched anything cool this week, outside of what we've talked about?
No, just watching Stick. I do have 2 movies that I want to watch this week. Hopefully I can get them to me or get to them. I'm actually planning to watch the new Predator movie after we get done with this, so that'll be very cool. And if I like it so much as other people do, that's why you follow us on Twitter because I might tweet something out. But no, I haven't watched really. I'm trying to think of TV shows. Um, no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I really haven't either because I did a lot of traveling, but I did start Tires. Very funny. Check out season one if you ever got time.
Yeah.
They're short. They're like 20 minutes, and it's so funny. Shane Gillis is just so funny, dude, and the whole cast is great. And then I also started a new show on Disney, not on Disney, on Amazon called Motorheads. It's
Okay.
like a it's like a street racing teen drama show. Very cheesy, like very like CW kind of vibes,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm enjoying it because a lot of it is revolves around cars and street racing, kind of cool. It's like teenage Fast and Furious almost.
You
But
saying Disney? I don't know if you remember, and the only reason I did this is because of straight nostalgia. The new season of Phineas and Ferb, the revival
oh,
season
dude, I
came out
forgot
this week. So I
the
watched the
the
first
whole thing or just a
just
couple.
the first 10 episodes came out on
First
Disney
10 are
Plus.
out.
First
10
10.
new episodes.
Yep. I
That's a
watched
whole
the
season.
I don't think so. I think they're doing a lot of episodes. Because I so anyways, I watched the first three just to see. I was just curious. It does have some of the same charm, same animation style. They obviously have some new voice characters, and you can tell which ones. But I think for the most part, it just captures Phineas and Ferb again. From what I remember, I thought it was very fun. It was very unique when it first came out, and obviously, like we remember some of the songs that they did from the original series. But for the first three episodes of the revival season, I actually didn't mind it. It was definitely towards kids, obviously. I'm 25 freaking years old, so it's not going to cater to my audience. But I think if you have watched it and you know what Phineas and Ferb is, you can kind of appreciate that they're kind of staying, very true to the source material 10 years ago or 15 years ago, however long it was. So, first three episodes I watched, and it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, dude, I'll definitely have to check that out. I love Phoenician for growing up as well, but so yeah, like we said, we'll kind of play next week by ear. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, it's been a hell of a summer. I'm excited to keep it going. We got How to Train a Dragon coming up 28 years later, and then F1, and then Superman and Jurassic Park and Fantastic Four. Like it's still nonstop, along with some other stuff we want to see as well. So. Stay tuned. You do your little outro. You're good. You're better at that.
Okay, so like you said, we appreciate you guys watching. Summer is here. It's in full force. The movies are we can't even keep up the amount of movies. TV shows obviously are right behind it as well. Like we said earlier in the episode with The Bear and Ironheart, and then we have It, Welcome to Derry. We have freaking Alien Earth. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So like always, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out the shorts we've been posting. Make sure to follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Twitter for any trailers or you see us that we post reviews or anything like that, or post our thoughts on TV shows and everything. And then make sure to follow us or be friends with us on LetterBoxd so you see what we're watching and when we're watching it, and it might spark your interest to watch something else. And if you have something that you want us to review or talk about, please let us know in the comments below. But as always, we love you guys. We will see you guys in the next one. Do you have a quote? You usually have a quote. You have anything?
Welcome to the Continental.
Okay. Peace out, boys. See you next time.
See y'all.